The internet contains more information than at any point in human history, and somehow, finding real answers feels harder than ever. Google still looks the same logo, same search bar, same promise, but searching now feels strangely artificial. You search for something simple and end up digging through ads, SEO articles, AI summaries, recycled advice, and websites that all somehow feel written by the same person. But the problem isn't just bad search results. Google didn't just organize the internet. It trained the internet. And once the internet learned how to survive Google's system, everything online slowly started changing shape. Search engines originally felt like discovery. You searched for something, and the internet revealed itself. Search felt messy, human, unpredictable. You'd find strange blogs written by obsessed experts, tiny forums dedicated to one oddly specific topic, websites made by actual people instead of content teams. The internet felt alive because it wasn't fully optimized yet. But optimization changes systems, especially once visibility becomes profitable. Because the moment attention becomes valuable, people stop designing for humans first and start designing for the algorithm deciding what gets seen. At first, the algorithm organizes the environment. Eventually, the environment starts reshaping itself around the algorithm. Entire industries emerged around understanding how Google ranked information. SEO, content optimization, search strategy. And at first, this genuinely improved the web. Search became faster, cleaner, more organized. But slowly, websites stopped asking, what's actually useful, and started asking, what survives the algorithm? That shift quietly changed the structure of the internet itself. Why recipe websites feel identical. Why product reviews feel fake. Why simple answers now hide inside 3,000-word SEO pages. The internet started rewarding content that looked useful, faster than content that actually was. Eventually, search stopped feeling like discovery and started feeling like digging through content designed to perform. The internet didn't become more informative, it became more optimized. And humans are surprisingly good at sensing optimized environments, even when they can't explain why they feel artificial. Notice something strange about modern search behavior. People increasingly don't trust the internet alone anymore. They trust traces of humans hidden inside platforms. That's why millions of people now add words like Reddit, forum, community to the end of searches. Because modern websites increasingly feel optimized before they feel human. Too polished, too frictionless, too strategically written. And psychologically, friction matters. Imperfection matters. Humans trust signals that don't feel fully engineered. A random Reddit comment with broken grammar often feels more believable than an SEO article reviewed by a corporate content team. Not because it's necessarily more accurate, because it feels more alive. And that behavior reveals something deeper. People didn't just adapt to worse search results. They adapted their own behavior around the system itself. Without realizing it, people slowly learned how to navigate incentive systems instead of information. But the deeper issue isn't low-quality websites, it's incentive drift. Google once helped users leave Google as quickly as possible. You searched, found an answer, left. But once platforms reach a certain scale, their priorities change. Because maximizing useful discovery and maximizing ecosystem control are not always aligned. The easier users find answers outside Google's infrastructure, the less control Google has over attention. So search slowly evolved into something different. Featured snippets, instant answers, AI overviews. Google increasingly answers questions without sending users anywhere at all. The search engine stopped behaving purely like a map and started behaving more like a destination. Google once mapped the internet. Now it increasingly absorbs it. And as discovery becomes controlled by a handful of platforms, the internet stops evolving around people and starts evolving around the systems deciding what people see. The internet once felt like entering different worlds. Now every platform increasingly feels like the same system wearing different skins, the same feeds, the same recommendation systems, the same behavioral mechanics repeated everywhere. The web didn't just consolidate technologically, it consolidated behaviorally. And once platforms controlled discovery, independent websites became harder to sustain, traffic concentrated, attention centralized, and slowly, online behavior started narrowing around the same few systems. That's why modern internet use often feels strangely exhausting. You're no longer wandering through a chaotic web built by humans. You're navigating platforms, optimizing against each other for visibility, retention, and control. Search once felt exploratory. Now it feels infrastructural. And AI is accelerating the entire process. Because once content generation becomes nearly free, optimization explodes. The internet increasingly fills with content designed for algorithms first and humans second, which creates an internet increasingly optimized for systems instead of people. An internet increasingly written by algorithms for algorithms, while humans increasingly search for signs that another human was here first. That's why people increasingly crave forums, creators, communities, smaller spaces, human recommendations. Not because humans are always better, but because humans are becoming easier to distinguish from optimized systems. So no, Google search didn't become worse accidentally. The internet evolved around systems rewarding optimization over discovery. And once optimization becomes the thing every platform prioritizes, everything inside the ecosystem starts reshaping itself around visibility. Websites change, creators change, information changes, behavior changes, even humans change. Searching the internet once felt effortless. Now it increasingly feels like filtering noise. Notice how quickly people leave websites that aren't instantly optimized. Notice how people increasingly search for platforms instead of information itself. Most people think they're navigating the internet, but increasingly, they're navigating incentive systems. And the unsettling part is how gradually this happened. The internet stopped feeling human slowly enough that most people barely noticed. Google search still promises the same thing it always did. Type a question, find an answer. But modern search is no longer just a tool for discovery, it's infrastructure. And once information infrastructure becomes driven by optimization incentives, the internet stops showing people the world as it is. It starts showing the version most efficiently designed to survive the system. And eventually, people stop searching for truth and start searching for what survives the system. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe.